I'm going to go ahead and dive into a little bit about my story so that way you guys, if you don't know me, we're not strangers. My name is Justin Wilson. Most of you guys know me as Jwill, or you can find me on Facebook at jwillretireu. And my story is pretty simple, guys. I have a military background. I've been all around the world. I've been chased at, I've been shot at, I've been shot down. If you ever seen the movie Black Hawk Down, man, that was my story. I've lived it. I've done it. It's not fun. One day I tell people all the time, I woke up and I was like, all right, I'm getting shot at, man, for $30,000. Not the smartest thing in the world to be doing. It's time to move on. I went and do what my parents told me to do. I went to school. I did that whole deal. And, I just found that, if you do what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else has, right? That's that's the reality, and that's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So I said, okay, I'm going to get introduced to the industry. I'm going to learn something different. I got plugged into some sharp individuals. They taught me the tricks. They taught me the trade. I got on calls like this when I didn't really want to. I went to meetings when I wasn't really feeling like it, and I did all the things, all the mundane things that you don't really feel like doing. I did those things when I didn't feel like doing them, and because my mentor taught me, do the things, okay, that other people won't, and tomorrow you'll have the things that other people can't. And that really stuck with me. And so I ever since then, I was coachable, I was consistent. And guys, fast forward to today, I'm 3 years now being retired at the age of 28 years old. I've been able to do what I want, when I want, where I want for the last 3 years. I've made over a 6-figure income, and now I'm helping a lot of other people accomplish the same thing, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into the information tonight. Hope you guys are ready. I'm going to talk about closing, guys. I'm going to talk about how to close more deals. What does closing really mean? How to be able to really take your business to the next level by focusing on some key things that you're doing either right or not. You're not doing them enough, or maybe you're doing things wrong, or there could be a better way to do them. Okay, and hopefully I shine some insight on you guys. You guys can take some good things away on what I do. All right. Now, anytime you hop on a call like this, guys, think about it like this. Okay. You want to duplicate what's working for others. Okay. But not just what's working. You also want to duplicate what is duplicatable. Okay. So there's going to be some things that, maybe you've never heard before, or maybe there's some things that you've already heard and you already do. Think about it like a buffet line. Okay. Take what you don't, you haven't tried, and try it. If you're already doing it and it works, great. Keep doing it. All right. But think about it like a buffet line. Take what works, guys, and just apply it in your own business. Okay. Not one thing is for everybody, and not everybody is for any one thing. All right. So what I'm going to talk about again is closing. Okay. Why is it important to close? All right. Why is it important to close? There's a couple of reasons that you got to understand, guys. What's important about closing? Okay. First off, you got to understand that closing is not selling. Okay. Closing is not selling. Selling, by definition, is to exchange or deliver money or its equivalent. Okay. Selling somebody or being sold is also to give up or surrender in exchange for a price or reward. Okay. Understand that closing, the definition of closing, okay, is different. Closing is the final step. By definition, is the final step in executing a transaction or deal in the negotiation phase. Okay. So understand something, guys. It is important to close. Why is it important to close? Because it is a key step. It's the caboose at the end of the train. It's the key ingredient. Okay. It's the key ingredient in order to make your deal come alive. Imagine making a cake. All right. And you go in the kitchen and you want to get all this stuff to make a cake. I'm not really a cake maker. So to be honest, I have no idea what it takes to make a cake, but I'm going to assume that you probably need some flour. You probably need some eggs. You probably need some butter. You probably need some frosting, and you're going to mix those things up somehow, and it would be the ingredients for a cake, right? Now imagine you put all your ingredients together, you go to make a cake, and you don't even turn on the damn oven. You don't turn on the oven. You just throw it in there. You don't turn it on. You come back. Are you going to have a cake 20 minutes later when you come back to the oven? Hell no. You're going to have a pot of mush. The same thing that you had that took all that time, focus, and energy, you're going to have the same damn thing sitting there that you're going to come back to when you left. Okay, when you left it, you're going to have the same thing. So understand, closing is the final step, okay, in the deal. It's what seals the deal. It's not just the icing on the cake. It's what makes the cake. Okay? It's not just the icing. It's what makes the cake. So understand this. If you're not closing deals, if you're not focused on closing every single time, okay, you prospect somebody, every single time you want to show somebody a video, remember guys, you're closing every single time you're talking to somebody. Understand, there's always somebody closing every single time. Anytime you have a conversation with somebody, it doesn't even matter if it's about business. If I'm talking to my wife and I want to go see a movie with Will Smith and she wants to go see a movie with Jennifer Lopez, at the end of the day, at the end of the night, we're going to have watched a movie with either Will Smith or Jennifer Lopez. One of the two. And somebody closed the deal and somebody got closed. I don't care what it is you're doing. Somebody is always closing a deal. That is life. And if you're not the person that is focused on closing, if you're not the person that is focused on getting the deal done, then you're going to be the one that rides the back of the bus all the time. You're going to be the one not having deals closed. You're going to be the one not having things going your way. You're going to be the one with an empty bank account. I can promise you, if you start focusing on closing more deals, you will start having more success, not only in your business, but you'll have more things go your way in life, period. All right. So now understand, guys, the difference between selling and closing. Selling is the transfer of information. It's the transfer of your emotions to somebody else. It's to get somebody to see things your way. But you can sell somebody all day, every single day till you're blue in the face. Just because you sell people doesn't mean you're going to close a deal. And if you're not focused on closing them, guess what? You're just an overworked, underpaid person like everybody else. If you're just selling people all the time, you're an overworked, underpaid salesman. That's what you are if you're not closing the deal. And that's what you are if that's what you're going to become if you're not focused on closing. Remember, if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail, right? So if you're not planning to close, guess what? You're planning to continue selling forever. Okay, to be an underpaid, overworked salesman. So understand the focus needs to be on closing the deal every single time you get in front of somebody, every single time you get on the phone, every single time you get into a one-on-one meeting, every single time. I'm always focused on closing somebody on what I want. Let me give you an example. If I'm piquing somebody's interest, my goal is to close them on them making a decision whether they want to, whether they're interested in making money or not. See, I could care less what their opinion is. If they want to make money or if they don't want to make money, I don't care. I'm looking for either one. But the close is me getting the answer. How many of you guys have asked a question out there, or how many of you guys have asked somebody, hey, are you open to making money? Or have you ever thought about trading? They're like, maybe, I don't know. Right? People say it all the time. I don't know. Maybe. I never really thought about it. You don't want that. You want an answer. You want, yes, I've thought about it, or yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not interested whatsoever in making more money or changing my life. I don't care what I get, but I'm going to close. I'm going to get the deal done because that's what I want. I want a decision. That's closing on piquing somebody's interest. When I send somebody an overview for the business, closing somebody on watching a video is getting them to watch the video, to getting them to watch the information. So how do I close that deal? I'm going to make sure that I set up a proper introduction to the video in the first place. I'm not just gonna talk to somebody and say, hey, do you want to see some information? They say, yeah. I'm saying, hey, here's the information. That's it. Call me when you get done. No, man, that is not professional. That's unprofessional. I'm going to lock an appointment. I'm going to set it up correctly. You're not going to call a doctor's office or an attorney's office or any other professional out there and just say, hey, I want to show up. I want you to take care of me. Right? Or, hey, I'm going to show up. I want you to break down all the details of what I want to know right now. That's not going to happen, guys. You got to lock an appointment and they're going to get to you when they want to get to you. And that's how you got to treat your business. You got to close people on those appointments. Here's how I do it. Hey, you know what? You're open to making more money? Great. Let's do this. What's your number? I'll shoot you the information. And that way I'll be able to answer your questions after you watch the information. They give me their number. Then I'm going to say, are you going to be available in 10 minutes? Let's say they say, yeah, great. Here's the video. I'm going to send them the video. I'll call you in 10 minutes. You guys see that? I'm closing the deal. I'm closing them on seeing the information. I'm making sure it's not a guess. It's not a maybe. See, here's the reality. If you send somebody a video, when are they going to watch it? Today, tomorrow, next week, next year? No, man. When do you want them to watch it? Now. How do you know? How do I know they're going to watch it now? Because guess what? If I get their information and I lock an appointment, they're going to watch it. If I tell them I'm going to call them in 10 minutes, when are they going to watch the video? Not tomorrow. They're going to watch it right now. Why? Because I just told you I'm calling you back in 10 minutes. We're going to talk about it. Now imagine they say, hey, you know what? I'm busy. I'm not available in 10 minutes. Great. What's better for you? 5 or 7? Give them 2 options. What's going to be better, this afternoon or tonight? Guys, get it as close as possible. This afternoon or tonight. What's better for you, today or tomorrow? Okay, get it as close as possible. All right, 7 or 8 o'clock works best. Use 15-minute increments. Those are great because it really shows your professionalism. I'm going to be available at 7:15 or 8:15. What works better for you? I'm closing the deal. Doesn't matter, guys. And I don't send them nothing until I get that deal closed. I don't send them no information until I lock the appointment. That's closing the deal on getting somebody to see the information. How do I close the deal on a 3-way call? Well, guess what? I'm going to get their phone number. I make sure I get their phone number and I make sure I lock that appointment. Okay, that's how I close a 3-way call. I also close the deal. All right. I also close the deal by making sure I have a third party on the phone. I don't break down the details when I call them back. I use a third party exposure, a 3-way call. So I'm going to call somebody. Okay. I already locked the appointment. I already got their phone number. I'm going to call them in 10 minutes, like I said I'm going to. And I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, were you able to watch the overview? Yes. Great. What did you like best? They're going to tell me what they like best or whatever. I'm going to say great. And I'm going to introduce them and edify my speaker. I'm going to edify my third party contact. Why? Because I want to keep it simple. That's another way for me to close a deal. I got to focus on closing deals. I got to focus on keeping things simple. I got to focus on duplicating a system. That's me closing the deal on a 3-way call. Follow the system and the system won't fail. Okay. It's very simple. It's a numbers game, guys. All right. It's worked for hundreds of years. This isn't just a network marketing thing. This is a sales funnel. This is how sales works. If you've ever been in a sales organization, this is how all sales companies train their businesses, train their teams. Okay. It's very simple. They follow systems. They follow a funnel. All right. They work the numbers. They pick up the phone. They pound the calls. You ever called a call center and notice you can hear a bunch of people in the background talking to people? Guess what they're doing? They're running the freaking numbers, man. They're running the numbers. They don't care who you are. They don't care what your number is. They don't care why you called or why they're calling you. They don't care. And you need to not either. You need to run the numbers. Treat your business like a business. Focus on closing. How do I close a meeting? Okay, I'm going to get somebody in front of me. I'm going to make sure we have the right atmosphere. Okay, there's not going to be a lot of distractions. There's not going to be a bunch of things going on. I'm not going to meet somebody and there's going to be a TV on in the background, or there's going to be a football game, or I'm not going to meet somebody and we're going to have a bunch of beers and shoot the shit and hang out and have a bunch of fun before I talk business. No, I'm closing a deal. That's why we're meeting. To close a deal. That's exactly why we're meeting. Okay, so you got to understand that. Now, all right. Now understand, what is the cost? What is the cost of not closing? I'm going to tell you guys, there is a cost to not closing a deal, and it's huge. It's gigantic. It's enormous. The cost of not closing a deal. Here's what it is. You're going to spend energy. Okay. You're going to spend energy. You're going to spend money. You can't help them and you can't help you and you can't help your team. Let me elaborate on what that means. You're going to spend a ton of energy, guys. Okay. It takes a ton of energy doing work. It takes a ton of energy making phone calls, prospecting people, getting people on the phone. It takes a ton of energy to think about it, to do this, to do what other people aren't willing to do. I'm sure you guys can agree it takes energy and focus. You are wasting that if you're not closing a deal. See, here's the reality, guys. If I do business with somebody and I call them and I get them on a 3-way call and I get them to a meeting and I don't get them started, I don't sign them up, I just wasted hours of time. Because think about how many people you have to go through to get somebody whose interest is piqued. Think about how many people you have to go through to show somebody a video who's interested. Think about how many people you have to go through to get somebody on the phone. Think about how many people you have to go through. All the people that don't show up, all the people that flake out, all the people that say I'm not interested, to get somebody to a meeting. And you're just going to screw that off because you don't close the deal. Guys, I follow up until the deal is closed with everybody. You can ask any one of the people that I signed up. I just signed up like 10 or 12 new people, and all of them I've been following up with and actively closing the deal on them for the last month, 2, 3 months. Some of them 6 months to a year now. 6 months to a year. Here's some facts, guys. Here's some facts for you. I want you to write this down. 4 interactions. 4 interactions. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. That's the reality. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. So how do you get somebody to like, know, and trust you? Guess what? You have to build a relationship and make contact. You can't talk to somebody one time and expect them to like you or know you or trust you with any means, shape, or form, as far as they can throw you. They trust you as far as they can throw you the first time you meet them. I can almost guarantee you. Here's the reality. You have to do more than 4 interactions to get anybody to like you, know you, or trust you. All right? Especially when you're pitching something higher price. Higher dollar amounts require more trust. They require more the ability to know who you are. All right? Now here's some numbers. Here's some facts. I want you guys to write this down. 60% of all sales, okay? 60% of all sales, 6 out of 10 sales that are done, 6 out of 10 people that get signed up into the business, okay? 6 out of 10, guess what? They all have gone through more than 4 exposures. People have to go through more. Think about it. Think about how many exposures you had. You probably didn't have somebody say, hey, you want to make money? And you signed up right there. No, you probably had somebody say, hey, you want to make money? You said, yeah, I'm interested. They probably showed you an opportunity. They probably got you on the phone with somebody. You probably went to a meeting. You probably seen it on the internet. You probably did some research. You probably had to see the information over and over and over and over again. Think about it. You don't go buy a car. You don't just say, hey, I want to buy a car. And then you got a car in your driveway. No, that's not how it works. You got to think about buying a car. Then you go on the internet and you start researching the car. That's 2 exposures. Then you go to the dealership and you take a look at the car. You go look around. You price check the car. That's 3 exposures. Then you go test drive the car. You see how it feels. That's 4 exposures. Then you go, maybe you do a credit application, or maybe you check out your financing or check out your cash. Make sure you got enough cash to buy the car. Whatever the case is, that's 5 exposures, guys. Understand, every major decision is made, and going into business for yourself, understand, for most people, is a major decision. That's a major life-changing decision. So they got to have multiple exposures. 60% of people have to have more than 4 exposures, okay? 44% of all salespeople and network marketers, all salespeople, 44% quit after the first exposure. Meaning they ask somebody if they're open to make money, they say yes or they say no, and then they stop. That's it. Or they show somebody an overview and then they don't get back to them. Or they get somebody on a 3-way call. The person on the 3-way call says, you know what, I'm not interested right now. And they stop. They never call them again. They never follow up. Or you get somebody to a meeting, you do all that work and you don't follow up. Guys, 44% of network marketers and all salespeople quit after the first exposure. Guys, that's like half your team is doing that. Half your team is doing that right now as you speak. Imagine if your team did the opposite and they went until. Here's the facts, guys. 20% of people quit after the second contact. So 44% quit after the first. That's almost half. 20% quit after the second. 14% of consultants. That means 14% of your people in your team. That's like 1 out of 10, guys. 1 out of 10 is doing more than 3 exposures or 3 follow-ups. Okay? 12% of people quit after the fourth. 12% of people. That means 94% of people don't do more than 4 exposures. 94%. See, that's how I know I'm going to get freaking rich, man. Because I teach my team, go until. You call, you text, you email, you Facebook, you message, you Instagram, you face-to-face, you Google, you Skype, you do whatever it takes. Over and over and over and over again until people make a decision. And then you follow up again later because everybody's life changes every 6 months, guys. Every 6 months, people's lives are changing. People have babies, people have kids, people lose loved ones, people get divorced, people get married, people hate their job, people want to quit. Guys, different things happen every 6 months to every person. That's a fact. So why would you not think that in 6 months from now, somebody could have a different decision than they had today? Okay, that's how I know I'm going to be freaking rich, man, because I know I'm willing to do what 94% of people are not willing to do, man. It's an easy thing. I simply just give them more exposures. That's how I've been able to recruit hundreds of people in my short 2-year network marketing career. Hundreds of people, guys. Soon it's going to be thousands of people that I've recruited, okay? Understand that, guys. Understand it, okay? No doesn't mean not now. No doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. That's all what no means. No just means not right now. Okay? It means that you have an opportunity later on if you follow up with people, if you focus on closing the deal. See, somebody that you have to follow up with, guess what? That's not a loss. That's you closing the damn deal, man. That's you focused on producing a result from all the interactions that you spent time, energy, and money on. It takes energy. It takes money. Think about it. I look at time as money. Time is money. Guys, here's the reality. I look at my business and I see if I want to make, guess what? If I want to make $100,000 a year, I got to be making $50 an hour worth of work. If I want to make $250,000 a year, I got to be doing like $125 an hour worth of work. If I want to make $500,000 a year, I got to be doing like $250 worth of work every hour. And if I want to make $1 million, I got to be doing $500 an hour worth of work. Okay, $500 an hour. Time is money. So you are throwing money away if you are not producing results with the time that you're putting in. Okay, understand you can't help nobody. You cannot help nobody unless you get them started. Period. You cannot help them. It doesn't matter how great your product is. It doesn't matter how great your reputation is. It doesn't matter how much information you know. It doesn't matter if you're amazing at teaching people. It doesn't matter if you're the most friendliest person. If you want it so bad for them, if you're the most trustworthy, loyal person, if you'll work the hardest, harder than anybody in the team. None of that matters if you can't get them started, because you cannot help nobody unless you get them started. See, I have a different mentality and a different philosophy when I look at getting people started. That's why I can be so raw like sushi, right? JC Rangel talks about being raw like sushi. You know why JC's raw? Because he's helped single mothers who are barely making it be able to create six-figure incomes. He's helped other people that are barely able to pay the bills be able to start creating a massive amounts of income. He's helped people out there. So he knows he can't help nobody unless he gets them started. Doesn't matter what their excuse is. He can't help your excuse unless he helps you get started. You got to think that way. You got to think about it just like that. Okay. Remember, you're demoralizing yourself every time you do something that's unfinished. Every time, think about it. It's like going through that sales process and not closing the deal, piquing somebody's interest, showing them, getting to a meeting, doing phone calls, doing all this stuff, sending them information, following up, overcoming objections, hearing negative family members. Think about all the bullshit you got to go through. And if you don't get people started, you're demoralizing yourself every single time. It's an unfinished cycle. It's kind of like saying, I'm going to go wash the dishes. I'm going to start washing them and then stop and walk away and leave them there all day. Leave them there forever. Think about that. It's like going to cut a lawn, mowing half my lawn, and then letting go of the lawnmower. I'm done. Think about how retarded I look from everybody else because I'm not finishing my sales cycle. How demoralizing is that to yourself? Think about that, guys. It's like halfway baking a cake, man. It's retarded, okay? And think about what it does for your team when you don't close deals for your team. When you get on a three-way call, when you get to a meeting and you're not focused on closing the deal for your team, you are dramatically lowering the morality of your team. Okay, when you close for your team, that brings up their excitement. Look how excited new people get when somebody gets signed up because you help them close the deal. That reaffirms their confidence in the product, in themselves, and more importantly, in your leadership and your ability to help them get to the next level. That's why you got to always be focused on closing the deals. That's why I'm always following up and I'm always teaching people to follow up and I'm always pushing hard on my calls and my meetings. That's why I come with so much passion. That's why I come and want to dominate. See, I don't just want to win. I want to dominate. That's what I want to do for my team. Now, lastly, guys, I want you guys to understand that why it's important to close. Okay, it's a very important thing. Closing is what makes money, period. Closing makes you money at the end of the day, and money changes your life. Okay. It's not that money just does it. It's the things that you do with money, but that's a whole nother story. Now, lastly, before we finish this, guys, I want to leave you guys with what I do to close. And we're running this call a little bit over, but this is some important information you guys need. Okay. This is some of the things that I ask when I'm closing. Great leaders ask great questions. And these are some of the questions that I ask. Okay. How much are you making now? I want to know how much somebody's making right now. I want to know what'll make the difference in their life. Okay. I want to know what's the best guy or girl making at their job right now. Okay. Because I want to show them how we can be able to dominate that. We can double, triple that, and probably a quarter of the amount of time. We have people in the business, guys, that are able to make a 6-figure income in 6 months. There's some people that don't even make half of 6 figures their entire life. Their entire life, man. I was able to create a 6-figure income in 10 months. Are you kidding me? The average person doesn't even have $500 in their savings account. 85% of people. That's a statistic done by the Labor Organization, United States. Guys, think about it. We can change somebody's life. Okay. I want to know why they're looking for money. What is it about? What is it about our program that caught their interest? Okay. And understand, you have to ask repeatedly for the close. Ask repeatedly over and over and over again. Hey, are you ready to do this? Let's get started. Are you ready to go? Are you serious about making money? What is it that's stopping you today from getting started? How can we get your decision from a 7 to a 10? That way we can help you start making more money. How can we help you change your future? How can we help you start training today so that way by the end of the week, you're able to start making money for you and your family? Guys, ask repeatedly over and over and over on the same call, on the same meeting, in the same one-on-one. Ask repeatedly. You have to ask repeatedly. Here's why. There's 2 reasons. Price and people's confidence in themselves. Let's talk about price. Price, people have a problem with price. It has nothing to do with the number. It has everything to do with the value. Guys, price is made up. $1 is made up. $100 is made up. If I told everybody wealth generators cost $50, I guarantee I would have some people argue with me how $50 is too much. If I told people wealth generators was $1,000 to sign up, I can guarantee I'll have people argue with me that $1,000 is too much. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Price is irrelevant. I would still close people on $1,000. I've sold $1,500 packs before. Okay. It has nothing to do. It's all about value. I tell people all the time, they tell me, man, that's a lot. I don't know if I can come up with $300 a day. Well, here's the reality. I have a convertible BMW sitting in my garage right now that's paid off. If I give you the keys, if you come up with $300 by the end of tonight, how fast will you come up with it? And I'll show them my keys. They're like, oh, I'll have it. I'll have it in the next couple hours. I said, how many people would you call until you got that money? Oh man, I'll call 20, 30 people. Exactly. I can show you how to get this damn car paid in cash every single month if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and call people and let's make it happen. Guys, show people the value. Okay. Show people the value. All right. I'm raw, man. I'm raw. I tell people my real story. You know, when I first got started, guys, here's the reality. When I first got started, I didn't even have the money. I was broke and busted. So guess what? I had to borrow money. But you know what I did before I did that? And I tell people this story all the time. I had to go and I tried to get a credit card. My credit was shit. I couldn't even get a credit card. I couldn't even get a credit card to be able to change my future. So you know what? That really told me that I was in a bad situation. So you know what I did is I went and borrowed $20 from 10 different people. And guess what? I came up with $200 and I was able to get started. You know what that said about me? It said I was committed. You know what that says about you? If you're not willing to do that for your family, for your future, it says you're not committed. Guys, I tell people that. I'm raw with them. You can't help them unless you get them started. Okay? Let people know when they say, man, I got to pay $300. No, you're not paying $300. This is a $1,700 investment in yourself. What do you mean $1,700? No, it's $300 to get started plus $129 for the next 11 months. You're going to be committed for the next year. Are you worth $1,700? Because if you don't feel that you're not worth $1,700, this isn't going to work anyway. And we don't need to do business. I'm looking for serious people. I'm looking for people that think they're worth more than $1,700. How serious are you? How bad do you want to change your kid's life? How bad do you want to change your future? How bad do you want to stop being broke and busted? When are you going to be sick and tired of living the same week that you had last week? When are you start ready to change your life? Guys, let them know, man. Let them know. Don't let them shrink away from money. That's what broke people do. See, broke people go out and they'll spend money on Jordans, on Xbox, on the bar, on all the bullshit that doesn't make you any damn money. You know what wealthy people do? They spend every dime, they borrow, they beg, they do whatever they got to do. They spend every freaking dime on what makes them money tomorrow. They sacrifice the lollipop for today for the freaking motorcycle, the jet, the vacation, the bike, the cars, everything tomorrow. That's what wealthy people do. And I let people know that. And I say, so which person do you want to be? You want to be the broken, busted one like everybody else shrinking up? Or you want to be the one that does something different and freaking cowboys up and ready to go? What do you want to do? See, that's how you got to close deals, guys. Close deals. All right. Hope you guys got some value today, man. I don't want this call to run too much over, but I want you guys to understand the value of closing and what you can do with closing, what you can really do if you don't close and what you can do if you start closing. The more deals you close, guys, you will elevate your business to the next level. The biggest thing that I want you to take away from this call, the number one thing I want you to take away is be relentless. Be relentless. Go until, okay? Because here's the reality. If you stop, everything you did was a waste. Everything you did was a waste. So you have to go until you close the deal. Okay? Close the deal. I follow up with people until. Ask some of the people that are on my team that I signed up how much I followed, how many times I text them a week, how many times I've called them or reached out to them. I can guarantee they'll say 5, 10, 15, 20. Guarantee. Appreciate everybody hopping on this call. Hope you guys got some value. Add me on Facebook if you haven't already. My name is Justin Wilson or jwillretireu. I'll see you guys all at the top. You guys have a great night. Bye-bye.